This brother Jokic, I mean, just a big tub of lard, just shoving people around. You know, no six pack, and ain't still built or anything like that. He's just big and strong. You know, waddle. He don't even walk. He waddles and stuff. You just look at him, and you can't stop him. Yeah. There's nothing you can do.
68% from the field and not on dunks or easy.
68% from the field, and not on dunks or easy layups, but on fadeaways and floaters and shots that have no business dropping through the net. That number shouldn't exist in professional basketball. Nikola Jokic is putting up what might become the most efficient high-volume scoring season the league has ever recorded. And he's doing it while waddling up the court, barely jumping and making every defense in the NBA look completely lost. The league saw this coming, and that's what makes it so much worse. Teams had years to prepare, years to study the tape and design schemes and build entire defensive systems around stopping one player. None of it worked. Not because front offices didn't try hard enough, but because there's no answer to what Jokic does on a basketball court. He's not just the best player in the game right now, he's become the problem the NBA cannot solve.
This goddamn Joker guy, man, what? He's shooting like, they say in like the last 5 or 6 games, he's shooting like 77% from the field.
Yeah, I mean, this season in 3 weeks, I think he's at 67% from the field.
Oh my God.
The 2014 draft tells you everything you need to know about how badly the league misjudged him. 40 names got called before Nikola Jokic heard his, which means 40 players that NBA teams believed were safer investments than a slow Serbian big man who looked half asleep in his highlight tapes. Pick 41 landed in the second round, the kind of selection you make and immediately forget exists. Stash them overseas for a few years, maybe bring them over when injuries thin out your front court. That was the projection. Backup center best, and body to absorb minutes when nothing else matters. The scouting reports made sense at the time, and that's what gave everyone false confidence. No vertical leap, no explosion, no speed in the open floor. When teams dragged him into space, he looked lost out there. The word limited followed him everywhere, attached to every evaluation and every projection about his future. Physical tools pointed to a hard ceiling, and that ceiling didn't look very high. Front offices saw a guy you hunt and pick and rolls, a defensive liability teams would attack possession after possession until his legs gave out. Everything on paper pointed to the same conclusion, that Nikola Jokic wasn't built for playoff basketball. Every front office agreed on that assessment before he ever touched an NBA court, and that label shaped everything that came next.
And Nikola is one of the most funniest underrated guys you've ever met. And sometimes he's not even trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But he's super down to earth, family guy, and basketball is just something that he's really, really fucking good at. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of like a guy who is super present in life. And it's like, hey, you know what? I love basketball, but basketball isn't me. It's not like what's gonna define me in my life. I'm not gonna let basketball ruin me having a great time at home with my daughter, with my wife, with my friends, with my family.
His first few seasons didn't raise any alarms, and if anything, they made everyone feel even more comfortable about their original assessment. Bench minutes, solid production, a nice touch around the rim combined with some clever passing, good role player stuff. Nothing that screamed superstar potential. Nothing that kept coaches awake at night trying to figure out how to stop him. The flashes started appearing without warning. A triple-double would show up out of nowhere, or a pass so creative it looked accidental until you watched the replay and realized he saw something nobody else on the floor could see. Sequences where Jokic picked apart an entire defense so calmly it felt like he was playing a completely different sport than everyone around him. Every time those moments happened, the explanation was already loaded and ready to dismiss him. He's good for a center, good passer for someone his size, good scorer for a guy that slow, good player for where he was drafted. I'm always a qualifier attached to the compliment, always an asterisk, always that implied ceiling hanging over every positive thing anyone said about him. The logic sounded bulletproof at the time. When playoffs arrive and intensity spikes, athleticism wins, and it always has throughout NBA history. Jokic couldn't blow by anybody, couldn't rise over defenders in traffic, couldn't recover when guards attacked him in space. Sooner or later, those limitations would show up when it mattered most, and teams filed him away in the interesting but beatable category and moved on with their planning. Time was on their side. or so they believed.
He's so good that people barely talk about it.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, you know, like it's just normal. Like it's normal. This shit is not normal. It's not normal what he's doing, guys. I'm sorry. It's not normal.
Once Jokic became impossible to ignore, the league went hunting for answers with real urgency. The plan sounded simple enough on the whiteboard. Speed him up, force quick decisions, drag him into space, and make him guard in the open floor. Attack him in pick and rolls until conditioning becomes the issue that breaks him down.
We just taking this dude for granted, man. He is the best basketball player in the world. You just going out there getting easy triple doubles every day, and he ain't getting them fluky 10 points, 10 rebounds, 11. He get like 25, 16, and 17.
On paper,
it all made perfect sense to defensive coordinators. Double him early and take away his passing lanes. Force tough fadeaways instead of easy reads. Switch everything and dare him to beat you one-on-one without any help from his teammates. This formula was supposed to work because players like Jokic don't win championships. They just put up numbers in the regular season, collect their awards, and disappear when the pressure hits its peak. That's how the story always goes with guys who lack elite athleticism, and the league just needed the right scheme and the right matchup and the right moment to expose them. What nobody realized was that they were preparing for the wrong kind of player entirely. The 2021 MVP award went to Nikola Jokic, and it wasn't because of narrative or hype or volume stats. He earned it by being flat out the best player in basketball that season, averaging near triple-double numbers with elite efficiency, while the entire Denver offense ran through him and worked every single night. The following year, he did it again, back-to-back MVPs, the first center to accomplish that since the merger. Historic company by any measure, and yet the doubt somehow survived all of it. Regular season dominance means nothing, critics kept saying. Playoffs are different because the game slows down and every possession becomes a battle, and that's when athleticism separates the great from the legendary. Jokic still didn't look the part, with no explosive highlights and no poster dunks, just calm and patient and precise basketball that didn't translate to the highlight reels people share online. The awards kept piling up on his shelf, but the final test remained hanging over him until he proved it. When everything was on the line, the questions would linger in every conversation about his legacy. The league believed it could wait him out, but that belief had an expiration date coming up fast. The 2023 playoffs ended all the waiting and all the doubt at once. Denver didn't just survive that postseason, they rolled through it like nobody could slow him down. Jokic dismantled elite defenses round after round, and Minnesota couldn't stop him. Phoenix couldn't slow him down, and the Lakers had no answers for anything he did. Coming off the screen into a post-up, he's coming off a wedge into the post-up, into the whip and the passes, and then like out of nowhere, when you think you finally, it's a three-ball. I'm like, oh my God, like the arc, and you're just like, come on. And it never, he don't miss. I haven't seen him miss a shot against us like probably ever. They always go in. I'm like, all right. By the time Denver reached the finals, the question wasn't whether Jokic could perform on the biggest stage. The only question left was whether anyone in the league could even slow him down a little bit. Miami threw everything at him in those finals. Physicality, toughness, pressure, different looks, different matchups, and none of it mattered at all. Jokic delivered one of the most complete finals performances in years, with scoring and rebounding and playmaking, all happening at once, all on his terms, all at his pace. Finals MVP silenced every remaining argument overnight. No more qualifiers left to hide behind. No more wait until the playoffs talking points. No more talk about ceilings that would eventually appear. The league finally had its answer, and Nikola Jokic was the real deal. What came next caught everyone off guard. Definitely a tough guard because he could do a lot of things, He could do a lot of things, especially around the basket. I didn't realize until we were playing the series, he's 290. Yeah, he's big dude. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought I was, usual. My usual size is about 265. And because I'm a 4 now and everything, I'm usually around like 249. Yeah. So I was like, damn, I didn't realize it was that big. Yeah. And after the championship, teams adjusted their approach again with even more desperation. More aggressive double teams showed up earlier in possessions. More physical defense pushed the rules, and more complex schemes got designed specifically around one question that haunted every front office. How do we stop Nikola Jokic from destroying us? Front offices studied finals tape frame by frame, looking for cracks in his game. Defensive coordinators built entire game plans around containing a single player, and the assumption was simple enough. Now that the blueprint was out there, teams could counter it and learn from Miami's mistakes and find the weaknesses. The reality turned out to be much harsher than anyone expected. Jokic didn't slow down at all. He actually got better, more efficient, more patient, more controlled in everything he did on the court. Every adjustment the league made became another advantage for him to exploit. Double him early and he found the open man before the help even arrived. Play him more physically and he drew fouls without forcing contact. Switched the matchup and he hunted mismatches like clockwork, finding the weak link every single possession. What teams discovered was deeply uncomfortable for everyone involved. There was no correct answer to the Jokic problem, because each solution created a worse problem somewhere else on the floor. Every defensive scheme forced defenders to choose how they wanted to lose that night. Protect the rim and he finds the cutter. Take away passing lanes and he scores himself. Give him space and he drains the three. The tactical problem became official across the league, not because Jokic was overpowering teams with athleticism, but because he stayed 2 steps ahead of them mentally on every possession. He wasn't reacting to defenses at all. He was anticipating them before they even formed. The more the league tried to outthink him, the clearer it became that everyone was already behind. The numbers Jokic is putting up right now don't just look dominant, they look impossible for a human being to achieve. Over 68% from the field on high volume would be the highest mark ever recorded for a player taking these many shots, and his true shooting percentage hovers in territory the league has almost never seen before. He's not getting there on dunks or easy finishes either. These are floaters from impossible angles, fadeaways over outstretched hands, and touch shots that have no business falling through the net. Leading the league in both rebounds and assists at the same time almost never happens in NBA history. And when it has occurred before, it didn't look anything like what Jokic is doing right now. Nobody accomplished that while also being the most efficient scorer in basketball. November 13th against the Clippers showed exactly why every approach fails against him. His coach announced the strategy publicly, telling everyone to make Jokic score, take away his passing, force him to beat you by himself. The logic made sense and the numbers supported the approach, so they executed the plan perfectly by clogging the passing lanes and taking away his teammates and daring him to shoot. Jokic responded with 55 points on 23 shots, going 18 for 23 from the field, in one of the most efficient, high-volume scoring games of his entire career. The Clippers didn't fail their game plan at all. They executed it perfectly, and that's exactly the problem facing every team. They solved one version of Jokic and accidentally unlocked the worst one in the process. Play him straight up and he scores efficiently without forcing anything. Double him and the ball is already moving before the help arrives. Try to speed him up and nothing changes at all, because Jokic never speeds up. That control is everything. Size isn't his biggest advantage, and neither is strength. His mind gives him the edge over everyone else in the league. Jokic doesn't just read defenses faster than other players. He reads a completely different game than anyone else on the floor. Passing lanes appear to him before they open. Rotations become obvious to him before defenders commit to him. And by the time help arrives, the right decision has already been made. The play is already over before the defense finishes forming. He never rushes anything, and that's the key to understanding how he operates. Pressure doesn't speed him up, traps don't rattle him, and double teams don't force bad decisions out of him. Everything stays calm and deliberate and controlled while defenders scramble and react around him. And Jokic operates like he's playing in slow motion compared to everyone else. Denver's offense works the way it does because the system isn't just built around Jokic, it's built to weaponize his vision. Cutters move on his timing. Shooters space the floor knowing the ball will find him at the exact right moment, and every action flows through his reads of the defense. Double him and the cutter is already gone. Sag off and he drains the three. Switch the matchup and he immediately hunts the mismatch. The entire system multiplies his dominance rather than just depending on it. Denver consistently ranks among the most efficient offenses in basketball, and it's not because of pace or chaos on the court. Every single possession has purpose behind it. Defending them doesn't feel like guarding one player at all. It feels like guarding an entire system that adjusts faster than you can react to it, and Jokic is the one controlling all of it from the center of the floor. Most dominant players in NBA history eventually hit a wall because athleticism fades and explosiveness declines and the body breaks down.
The game takes something back from everyone eventually, because that's the natural order of things, and Father Time remains undefeated against every athlete who ever lived. Jokic operates differently from those players, because his dominance doesn't rely on speed or vertical leap. Touch and timing and strength and intelligence built his game from the ground up, and those things don't age the way athleticism does. Touch doesn't disappear overnight after years of playing.